If you're a high achiever who constantly needs to be learning something new, listen up, because week 2 is all about how to get rid of your mental masturbation. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Stephanie Falcon, and I help female founders level up both personally and professionally. So going back to mental masturbation, it is basically any activity that gives you the feeling of growth and productivity without the actual results. So for example, let's say that you are speed reading the book Atomic Habits, but you never actually implement it. And that is obviously a totally theoretical example, not that I did that for years. So anyway, the reason that I made Skills Digging week 2 of the program is because I swear I would have introduced it as week 1, but I think I would have scared off all of my clients because it's a very dense week. But it's just so important, because whatever you learn is going to be critical and determine how you can actually level up your business and your life. And so the point here is to consider which new skill you're acquiring through these 3 different filters. The first one is stackability. The second is uniqueness, and then third is leverage. And so starting with stackability, the idea here is to think of your skills like blocks that when stacked together allow you to level up your whole identity. So my favorite explanation of this actually comes from Alex Hormozi. So if you want to check out his full keynote, definitely do, but it's a little long. So basically the way that he explains it is that you could start off with someone who, for example, is good at math, and then you would stack on the skill of bookkeeping, accounting, tax strategy, investing, deal structure, eventually capital markets. And you can see how at every stage of the new skill, you're looking at a whole new profession and a whole new identity. So going back to our example, he is maybe starting off as a math nerd that then becomes a teacher or a professor, but with new skills, he's able to become an accountant, a controller, a CFO, eventually a rainmaker. I mean, the point here is to really think through your own skill stack and which new skills can best get you to that next rung of whatever ladder you're actually looking to climb. Now, the next filter is uniqueness. And for this, I like to quote Kevin Kelly, especially in his podcast interview with Tim Ferriss, where they talk about the value of being the only versus being the best. To be the best at any one thing is really, really hard. I mean, if you consider that there is only one gold medalist in any category, to be that one means that you've got to work your ass off and you've got to outcompete literally everybody else. However, if you're able to combine different skill sets, especially skills that don't frequently overlap, then you're uniquely positioned to look at things in a totally different way or to come up with solutions that most people won't even think of. So to figure out which unique skills you should double down on, you can actually ask the people in your life that know you best and ask them, like, what do I seem to know more about than most people? What seems easy for me that is hard for most others? If I had to give a 20-minute TED Talk on something unrelated to my job, what should it be? And then finally, the last point is using the concept of leverage. And I could spend the whole 12 weeks just on this. But the idea here is that when applying it to skills is which are likely to give you the biggest impact with the smallest amount of effort or resources. And when I read Naval Ravikant's explanation on this in his almanac, I mean, it totally blew my mind, because he basically breaks it down and relates it back to the positions of leverage throughout history. So for example, the oldest form of leverage really comes from labor, meaning that the humans that had the most other humans working from them had the most leverage. So originally slaves, eventually employees. Then came capital. Those that had the most money and investing power gained the most leverage. Today, we're looking at leverage as code and content, because the opportunity to create massive audiences is so powerful, which is why you're seeing influencers and celebrities, anywhere from Rihanna to YouTuber Mr. Beast, be able to launch a totally new business in a completely unrelated category like burgers or chocolate, and overnight have it be worth billions because they have such a massive audience that they can leverage from. And now, if you're looking ahead, you can see how AI has the potential to be the ultimate leverage point, because it actually combines all 4 of these, because you need less labor and capital to build big things. You can make it write code for you, and you can have it create and amplify your content, which therefore makes your audience grow that much faster. And that's why so much of my time is being spent and focused on helping female founders start using AI everywhere they can so that they can fully maximize their own leverage. I mean, how else am I going to help women take over the world?